park. You can check your history. Had the whole world out there trying to moonwalk. Mr. T introduced the Mohawk. The first WrestleMania, he teamed up with Hulk Hogan. And there was no PlayStation or Nintendo, just one joystick, one button. It was simple. I gotta admit, y'all, Atari was the shit, y'all. Pac-Man, Pinball, Donkey Kong, Pitfall. Biggie wasn't famous yet, neither was Tupac, but LL Cool J had me wanting a boombox shit. What was he, 15 on the scene, talking about crushing rappers like a jelly bean? Def Jam turned that man into a machine. Chicago Cubs always lost, but I stay true to my team. In 85 when the Bears played, shit hit the fan. Walter Payton, really gone, Jim McMahon. I guess you had to be there to know the feeling of watching the quarterback get sacked by Otis Wilson. Remember William the Refrigerator, Perry, Gary, Fensick, and Mike Singletary. Damn, time flew by so quick that it's scary, and I think that's why I feel it's so necessary to bang these rhymes out and just go forward.
The city of Chicago shows off its Graffiti Blasters and proposes tougher new fines for taggers.
That got us thinking. The city already has lots of graffiti laws on the books, but are they doing any good? CBS 2's Vince Gerasoli went looking for answers.
The idea is prime visibility.
Yes. These guys want their stuff seen from Milwaukee Avenue. They want it seen from the train overhead as people are going to work.
Steve Jensen points to tags marking his Bucktown neighborhood just about everywhere you look as proof graffiti is on the rise.
It's horrendous. Pops up every day.
City blasters swoop in to wash away the marks, but then...
Of course, that's a clean slate, and it'll be tagged in a week.
No one likes graffiti.
25 city graffiti blaster crews work on a grid system, hitting each ward roughly once every 10 days to wash away the rising number of tags. From 2012 to 2013, graffiti removal requests jumped from 110,000 to roughly 137,000. The blasters kept pace. As a further deterrent, the city now wants to double fines to $2,500 and hold parents accountable for minors caught tagging.
Does that really make a difference to some kid with a spray can of paint?
Well, once they start getting caught and have to pay for it, we're hoping that it will.
Separately, in April, the CTA started going after the families of minors caught tagging stations and trains. They filed just 4 lawsuits to date. Community activists like Jensen say these efforts should have come sooner.
Do you think the city's doing enough to get rid of it?
No, I think the city is a few years too late. They're behind the ball on this.
Now, already this past year, the city added $1 million to its Graffiti Blasters budget. The higher fines to be proposed Wednesday at City Council are next step. You know, we reached out on social media to find out what you thought of higher fines for those caught tagging. We've got some of the answers now. Jim told us on Facebook, how about eliminating the fines and instead make them paint the walls? Okay, and also from Facebook, Steve Coyne says, so who's going to pay these fines? The young punks that did the graffiti? Good luck with that. You know, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, and they certainly have their work cut out for them with all the graffiti around town.
That's right. And you know, with these blasters swooping in, the faster they can get the graffiti gone, that's also a deterrent, because if your work is wiped away, you might not want to go back and do it again.
But isn't this likely to be a cat and mouse game? You get rid of all the graffiti and then next day somebody's putting it back
Yeah,
up.
but you got to do something, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna start somewhere.
All right.
Thank you.
Chicago Expressway, ride on a train, you can't help but notice the omnipresence of graffiti.
Yeah, city crews say no sooner do they remove it, the street artists, they come back and they do it again. We've got Roger Romanelli. He is the executive director of the Fulton Market Association, and he is here to tell us about the negative impact that graffiti has on our city. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. You know, I know we see it every day. You know, Scott and I drive on the Ike. We see it on the Ike. We know that it's pretty much on every expressway. And, you know, and it's true. Some of the artwork, or some of it is artwork, it looks pretty incredible, but we're mainly talking about the street graffiti, gang graffiti, where they tag a building with their gang sign in an effort to kind of put rivals on notice that this is their turf, right?
That's right. That's right. There's really 2 kinds of graffiti. There's authorized graffiti where artists come and paint on buildings. And then there's unauthorized, illegal graffiti, which damages property. It makes our city look bad. And a lot of times the words they use aren't pretty.
I have to admit, I don't know what Mayor Lightfoot's stance is on it. I know back in the days of Mayor Daley, they had graffiti busters who would go out and as quickly as they could, you know, paint over whatever was there. Are those days behind us?
No. In fact, I want to really thank the Chicago Department of Sanitation's Graffiti Blasters program. I work directly with them. They are wonderful. And the big problem, I think, is that we need the public. We need all of your viewers to be empowered to call 311 or report these crimes. And these are legitimate crimes. We need people to report these to the city. The Graffiti Blasters will come out if they can blast off the brick with their baking soda and their powder, they'll get it off the brick. If they have to paint over, they'll paint over. But look, this Graffiti Blasters program, they're ready to roll. We just need the public to call in and to demand that, look, we can't have these crimes happen because they're very serious graffiti crimes.
Well, talk to us about this so that people can understand the dynamic here. Why is it so important to stay on top of this type of vandalism? I mean, I know the answer here, but I want you to explain to our viewers how this becomes even bigger, a bigger problem in an area.
I really thank you, and I hope your viewers listen to this. Look, imagine you have a building that has a brick surface, and if it's brick, common in Chicago, either red or white brick, if someone puts graffiti, gang graffiti or tag graffiti on your brick, the chances are that brick could be ruined forever. That graffiti gets into the brick material and it's very hard to erase. The other piece is that once graffiti starts in our Fulton Market neighborhood, we're having a rash of graffiti. So once they hit one building, then all the taggers got to come back and hit the other buildings to compete with each other. So then you got, 20 buildings hit and city structures all of a sudden. And the third piece is, remember, Chicago is the greatest city, and we want to have people in from out of town and from the suburbs. So a lot of our wedding halls and our banquet halls have been calling our association saying, we've got people coming in from the suburbs out of town. They feel uncomfortable in our city. They see all this graffiti. They say, we're not safe. We're not going to have our wedding in Chicago. So you got damage to property. You've got gangs competing. You've got weddings and banquet halls. Graffiti, if it's authorized, great. If it's unauthorized, it's a dangerous crime that could permanently scar a building.
I'm glad you mentioned authorized real quick because we're out of time. We're not talking about, this is a culturally diverse city as well. We're not talking about covering up some of the beautiful murals that we have out there.
Yeah, absolutely. The murals are beautiful when they're authorized. And the last point of all this is we ask every property owner to install cameras and lights on their buildings. That's the #1 deterrent to graffiti. If they have a problem, we can catch them as well. If there's a pattern, we can catch them. But we need the public to call in and be vigilant. Graffiti, unauthorized, is a serious crime.
All right, Roger Romanelli, he's the executive director of the Fulton Market Association. Good stuff this morning. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
We remove graffiti all over the city, both on private and public property. We do it through two different ways. We either blast it if it's on a brick, which is a baking soda and water mixture, or we will paint over it with a white or brown paint. In February of 2012, we began a grid system. We grid out each area in each ward where the graffiti is at so we can concentrate on those areas. We do a rotation in each ward where we go in and we hit it hard in those areas. We still have other crews that do emergency removal when needed, but we concentrate on the areas that are bad in the grid. We've actually removed 12,000 more graffiti removal jobs than we have last year. We're at about 64,000 removal jobs to date. Mayor Emanuel and the graffiti program has zero tolerance. We don't like graffiti. Graffiti is extremely detrimental to a community, whether it be gang or tagging. It's bad for business, it's bad for the residents. As soon as we see it, we like to get it down so that it doesn't spread. There are several different ways that you can report graffiti. You can call 311, you can call your alderman's office, or you can go online, and then we'll take care of it.
I could make them see start to go crazy. And maybe we'll never agree. That you got crazy. I know that you got crazy. We know how I wish I could make them see. When it's that you got little preparation will do it for me.
¿Qué onda, chino? ¿Qué onda, chino? ¿Qué onda, chino? ¿Qué onda, chino?